Steph Curry, 4 championships, 2 MVPs, the man who literally changed the geometry of basketball, showed up to a pickup run last offseason, and a rookie guarded him so tightly that Steph couldn't score. And that rookie was keeping count the whole time. That's the story we're telling today. Welcome to Hoopspill. If you're new here, subscribe, drop a like, and let's get into it. Before the draft, the conversation around Dylan Harper was polite but measured. He wasn't the viral sensation. He wasn't the logo pull-up guy or the above-the-rim highlight machine that gets 10 million views on a Thursday night. Most analysts described him in patient, carefully hedged language. Big guard, high IQ, solid future. Safe. And in the NBA draft ecosystem, being called safe is essentially a warning label. It signals a ceiling. It signals someone scouts respect but don't love. That framing stuck to Harper for months, and almost everyone outside of San Antonio bought into it. Almost. What the consensus missed was the thing that doesn't show up in workout numbers or highlight reels. At 6'6", with an advanced feel for pace, elite footwork, and a physical frame that most players spend 3 NBA seasons building in a weight room, Harper doesn't play like a rookie discovering the game. He plays like someone who has already had this conversation with every defense he's ever faced. The game visibly slows down when the ball finds his hands. And that quality, that specific quality, is one of the rarest and least coachable things in basketball. Scouts who were busy looking for burst missed what was right in front of them. The Spurs didn't miss it. San Antonio selected Harper second overall with a clear understanding of what they were getting, and the people inside that building have been quietly confident ever since. But here's what's interesting. The loudest endorsements haven't come from Spurs management or from the coaching staff trying to sell a narrative. They've come from other players, from veterans who have been in this league long enough to know what future stars actually look like before the rest of the world figures it out. And those voices have been getting louder all season. Start with the person who arguably has the best seat in the house, Stefon Castle, reigning Rookie of the Year, the standard bearer for what success looks like as a young guard in San Antonio, was already talking about Harper with genuine confidence before the season hit its stride. Castle made clear that Harper not only belongs in the Rookie of the Year conversation, but that the chemistry between them was developing faster than anyone could have anticipated. What makes that significant isn't the praise itself, it's the source. Castle sees Harper every single day in practice. He guards him, he runs sets next to him. He knows exactly what Harper looks like when nobody's watching, and he still sounds like a believer. Castle also made something clear that doesn't always get enough attention in these conversations. The partnership works because both players genuinely complement each other. Neither one needs the other to disappear for them to be effective. They're sharing the floor, sharing the load, and the game is opening up for both of them because of it. For a franchise still learning how to distribute its offensive gravity across multiple young stars, that kind of natural fit between 2 rookie-class guards is rare. Chemistry like that usually takes seasons to develop. In San Antonio, it arrived ahead of schedule. Jeff Teague saw the bigger picture even earlier. After watching the Spurs handle the Lakers in a win that turned some heads around the league, Teague broke down what San Antonio is actually building, and his assessment was specific in a way that matters. He pointed to the size, the versatility, and the different skill sets across 3 guards who, at first glance, looked like a roster puzzle with one too many pieces. De'Aaron Fox as the veteran engine, Castle capable of guarding 1 through 3, Harper holding down the 1 and the 2 at 6'5" to 6'6" with the frame and the feel to shift between roles without losing impact. Teague's conclusion was blunt. You don't have to break this up, it works. And the scary part is that none of this conversation had yet arrived at Victor Wembanyama. That's the detail that keeps resurfacing in every serious breakdown of San Antonio's future. The excitement around Dylan Harper, the individual praise, the backcourt chemistry talk, the early comparisons to high-level guards is all happening in a universe where Wembanyama hasn't even fully entered the frame yet. When these 3 are genuinely operating together at full capacity, the league is going to have a problem it doesn't currently have an answer to. Teague recognized it, and he's not alone in that reading. Gilbert Arenas was watching Harper before most of the national audience had formed a real opinion. What stood out to Arenas wasn't the size, or even the IQ in isolation, it was the combination. At 20 years old, playing alongside an established star in De'Aaron Fox, who everyone assumed would need to be moved to make room for youth, Harper wasn't trying to force his way to the top of the rotation or prove a point by dominating the ball. He was learning, absorbing, moving with intention. Arenas saw a guard group that could become genuinely dangerous if given the time and trust to grow. 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" across the backcourt, all versatile, all capable of guarding multiple positions. His projection sounded aggressive at the time. Now it sounds measured. Nick Young's take added a different layer. Nick Young watched Harper during Summer League, and what lodged in his mind wasn't a scoring output or a box score line. It was one word: poised. That word has followed Harper everywhere. It came up in Arenas' breakdown, in Castle's comments, in every serious evaluation of what makes him different from other young guards who enter the league with similar physical profiles. Composure at 20 years old in high-leverage moments is not something you develop during a summer. Either you have it or you spend the next 3 seasons trying to find it. Harper already has it, and it shows in how rarely he speeds up when games get tight. Then came Steph Curry. If you needed a single moment to understand the quiet respect Harper had been building before he ever played a regular season game, it was this. Steph showed up to a pickup run, Harper guarded him, and Steph didn't score. And Harper, mic'd up, fully aware of the matchup, was tracking the stats. Not out of disrespect, out of focus, out of the kind of competitive attention to detail that separates players who reach their ceiling from players who keep raising it. Steph's response to the whole situation wasn't frustration, it was admiration. He praised the mentality, the coachability, the hunger. When Steph Curry voluntarily tells the world that a rookie is the type of competitor who makes you better just by being in the gym, you listen. What makes Harper's early success more meaningful than raw production numbers is the context it lives inside. He's on a team with De'Aaron Fox, a former All-Star who commands defensive attention and ball movement on every possession. He's playing next to Stefon Castle, who is already establishing himself as a legitimate two-way guard at the NBA level. He's doing all of this in a system being built around a generational talent at center who changes the game's geometry just by standing near the paint. Harper is not in a situation designed to inflate individual statistics, and he's still making his presence felt. The scouts who questioned his burst, who wondered whether he could create reliable separation against elite athletes, weren't completely wrong to ask those questions. They just answered them with the wrong framework. Dylan Harper doesn't need elite explosiveness because he's operating on a different timeline than the defense. He reads where the pressure is going before it arrives. He changes speed at the exact moment a defender commits. He uses his frame to control contact instead of avoiding it. The efficiency and the decision-making coming out of that package isn't what you expect from a second-year player, let alone a first-year one. And the shooting, if that continues to develop, changes the entire threat profile. There's a version of this story that gets told in reverse, 3 or 4 years from now, where people look back at the 2024-25 Spurs season and recognize it as the quiet beginning of something sustained. Wembanyama is the anchor, yes, but the supporting cast around him is not a collection of role players asked to stay out of the way. Castle, Fox, and Harper form a backcourt with real identity, size, switchability, composure, and competitive fire. Harper's presence in particular feels less like a rookie finding his footing and more like a piece the franchise has been trying to find for a decade. Former players don't talk about rookies this way on instinct. They talk about them this way when something real is happening. Dylan Harper is not a hype story that bloomed in week 3 and will fade by the playoffs. The people closest to the game, the ones who spent years inside its highest level, keep arriving at the same conclusion every time they watch him play. Something is developing in San Antonio that doesn't have a ceiling anyone can confidently identify yet. And right at the center of it, absorbing every moment and growing with every game, is a 20-year-old guard who already understands how the story is supposed to end. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Harper becomes a franchise cornerstone, or is the timeline moving too fast?